Shalom.
Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da.
Thank you for being here this evening. Quality, not quantity. Right? It's good. It's good the way it is. As usual, we start out asking for tovu vracha, good and blessing. Is there anyone here that has a good and blessing that you've experienced in the last week? Big, small, whatever. Richard.
I can share what I shared with
Earlier,
you.
yes.
I told our congregation a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine was coming to town, and then he didn't, but then he did. So this week he came from California. He's my oldest friend from graduate school. We had a wonderful lunch, and we spent hours together. It was just nice.
Very good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yes, always good to rekindle those.
45 years.
It's a long time. Yeah, very good. Anybody else have good and blessing? Yes, Hannah.
I was able to go home and recharge my batteries, as one would say, and see my parents and just have a wonderful week. Just relax and rest.
Good, good. The mom and dad love. You can't get any better than mom and dad love to rejuvenate you, right? Very good. Yes, Howie.
Our 3-year-old granddaughter had her first vaccination.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Did she cry?
No, in fact, she wore her doctor's outfit.
Excellent. Excellent.
She calls herself Nene, and the doctor Nene shows up in the vaccination.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. 3 years old is such a good age. Such a good age. They're so cute. So good. RJ.
Rabbi Dennis and I have this common friend. His name is Rabbi Jacques Miracle. I don't know if you know him, but he has a temple up in Kansas City, and he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. He went through rabbinical college with Rabbi Dennis. So, him and I go way back, and he speaks like 500 languages. I mean, the guy's a genius now. But he's originally from Brazil. And he's on his way to Mexico City to do his first marriage overseas. And he's encountered, Mexico's very liberal. And I was hoping to talk to Rabbi Dennis because I see he's encountering a lot of pushback from the Catholic Church down there. They're trying to fix him also down there. Just tough, it's going to happen. So you'll be fine, dude. Just let us hang it.
It went well for him?
Huh?
It went well for him?
Yeah, it's still hanging.
Okay.
Just keep at it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Anybody else? Tovu bracha for the temple is that Lori and Arlene are first-time visitors here tonight, so please say hello to them and welcome them, and hopefully they will be coming back. Right? Excellent. Excellent. Huh? Is this your first time here tonight? Okay, very good. Well, then Lois and Jerry also are new visitors to us tonight, although Lois is part of book club, as many of us in this room are. So that's very good. We're glad to have you. And Jeanette and Davis? No, not Jeanette. Josette, thank you. Thank you. Josette and Davis are back again. That's very, very good. And so excellent, excellent. Okay, we shall start our service, and Rebecca Leonard, our treasurer on the board, is going to light Shabbos candles.
We're doing service 2, but I'm a creature of habit, so I'm doing service 1 Shabbos candles. Sorry, Nikki.
She's cool.
Prayer, just, I can handle it.
Okay.
See, I'm so not. In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle each Shabbat's light, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is a symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with light.
We're on page 1. Page 1. Okay.
Yeah. Air conditioners,
Mm.
the way. Yeah, no, you're fine.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Praise are you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who follows us with his boat and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights together.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen. All right. Thank you, Becky. We'll continue with service number 2, and we will begin on page 24.
25. Oh, 25, you're right.
Okay, are we good? Yeah, okay, okay. Enclosed and hidden, you are a garden, a still pool, a fountain. Stretching your limbs, you open a field of pomegranate blooms, treasured fruit among the blossoms, henna, sweet cane, bark, and saffron. Fragrant woods and succulents, the finest spices and perfumes. Living water, you are a fountain, a well, a river flowing from the mountains. We sit here newly gathered before the face of our God, joining together to worship the eternal, to sanctify our existence. How shall we begin to search, to reach the sacred part of ourselves where rests an essence of all that is good? By stopping our concerns for those things which distract us all week long, by welcoming the Sabbath bride, and by opening ourselves to hear the message, oh so silent, carried to us by the small, still voice of God.
Okay. Anim Zimurot on page 25. I'm going to do the Hebrew and then the English version. And it's not the same thing as the translation of the Hebrew on the bottom of page 25. The English is a little bit different. So. Anim Zimurot v'shirim eirot ki elecha nashitaro nashich hamda b'tzel yadecha ladan korasodecha. Amen, amen. Midei davari b'chodecha, homelibi erdodecha, yirev nafsi shi'alecha, ki nashi tarog elecha. Amen, amen. Sweet hymns and songs will I recite, sing of you both day and night, of you who are my soul's delight, of you who are my soul's delight. Amen, amen.
I think that touched you. You're familiar with that, right? Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, page 27. Shalom Aleichem.
Please join me. Shalom Aleichem.
Mhm.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem HaShalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malchei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni la shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sehem HaShalom, Ma'el HaShalom, Malchei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The bottom of page 28, Psalm 139, together. O God, you have reached me well. You understand all my thoughts and every word upon my tongue. Your presence surrounds me. You touch me with your hand. Your presence exceeds my own perception. It is a wonder beyond imagining. Page 29.
Hatikadash. Yitkada v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach Yerutei v'yamlich mahutei. V'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'vizman kariv. V'yemaru amen. Yehesh me Rabba mevorach. Le'alam olam meyomaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitba'ar, V'yitraman, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kudashah, Brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nehemata damin ran b'yama v'yimaru amen.
Please stand in spirit or body for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai haborah. Baruch Adonai haborah. Le'olam va'ed.
Page 30, Psalm 104. Oh, I think you may, yes, you may be seated, right? It does not say in my, yes, you may be seated. 30, Psalm 104, and we will read responsively. Bless the eternal, O my soul. O eternal, my God, you are very great. You are clothed in glory and majesty, wrapped in light like a robe. You spread out the heavens like a tent cloth. God sets the rafters of the high places in the waters. God makes the winds to be messengers, fiery flames to serve you. You made the deep cover the earth as a garment, the waves to stand above mountains. You make springs gush forth in torrents. They make their way between the hills. You water the mountains from your high places. The earth is sated from the fruit of your work. The trees of the eternal drink their fill. The cedars of Lebanon, your own planting, where birds make their nest, while the stork has her home in the junipers. God made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows it's time to set. How manifold are your works, O eternal. In wisdom you have made them all. May the glory of the eternal endure forever. May you rejoice in your works. Bless the eternal, O my soul. Hallelujah. As I sing of the one God, I rejoice in the wonders of this world, and I pray for the day when all peoples shall be as one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
Please join me in the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'cha nafshecha uv'cha meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam v'lanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uv'leftecha b'derech u'shakvecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam laot yadecha v'chayu latotafot beinenecha Ukshartam amitutot beitecha uvisharecha Leman titzkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'hem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
The top of page 32, we'll read the translation to the V'ahavta in English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. These words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you dedicate yourselves to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. When a Jew speaks a word of prayer in love and awe, the power of that word gives birth to God's glory. The angels call out to God, "Who is like unto you?" How great is even a single word of such a prayer. It causes all the angels to sing. All worlds join with the one who serves the eternal. This is the meaning of the Michamoka, that one who sings a song below can arouse so many songs on high.
Ya die 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 ya die 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 bim bam ya die 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 ya die die bim bam ya die 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 ya die die bim bam ya die 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 ya die die bim bam mi chamocha boili Adonai mi chamocha nedar bakodesh Nora tehilot, oh sefele. Nora tehilot, oh sefele. Ya die, 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 ya die, die, bim bam. Ya die, 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 ya die, die, bim bam. Ya die, 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 ya die, die, bim bam. Ya die, 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 ya die, die, bim bam.
Page 33. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts. May we lie down in peace and rise up to find our hearts waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamedenu malkeinu ufrosalenu sukat shlomeka. Grant that we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and rise us up, O sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help.
Vashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim U'firosalenu sukat shalom bicha v'takinenu b'tzah tova milifanecha v'hoshi'enu l'ma'an shemecha.
I might imagine God as a teacher or a friend, but those images, like king, master, father, or mother, are too small for me now. God is the force of motion and light in the universe. God is the strength of life on our planet. God is the power moving us to do good. God is the source of love springing up in us. God is far beyond what we can comprehend. Please stand for tefillah.
Adonai sepatakita ufia gita gilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Cherubim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher masei ha'voglim ha'od, V'melidu lali pnei L'man shemo ve'ava, V'legotzeru Mashiach magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ezra Sarah, Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, L'chayei hakol hara v'hoshia, L'kakel chayim le'chesed, L'chayei hakol be'rachamim rabim. So make noflim v'rofei kolim, U'matir asurim, U'chayei emunato, V'shenei ahar, V'kamocha ha'gevurot, U'nidol elam, Melech Makayeh, U'matzliach Yeshua, Me'maratar Hayot, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh, kadosh, kadoshim v'chol yom v'chalu ha'sela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
You may be seated. We're at the bottom of 36 for Yismahu.
Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbu, V'yitangu Metuvecha Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. U'hashvi, Ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Chemdat Yami, Oto Karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Zecher L'maseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher L'maseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shamrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat.
Excellent. Page 37. A prayer for acceptance. We reach for you, O God, from our quiet places. We may stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own needs against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness, where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness, where we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with that strength, we will turn again to your service. Prayer of thanksgiving. There are times, O God, when I feel alone, and yet I know in my heart that I am never alone. You are always there waiting for me to speak to you of my desires, fears, hopes, and dreams. Yet how seldom do I reach out to you to voice my gratitude for all that is beautiful in my life, for all the gifts in my life. Love, family, and friendship have come from you. But the greatest gift of all is your presence, which time and again has given me strength, hope, and courage. In the midst of doubt and confusion, I need to know that you are beside me, not only in the prayer book, but in the depth of my being, my friend, my strength, my God.
We will now sing the Shalom Rav. Following that, you may read along with the meditations given in the Siddur or come up with ones of your own, and that will be followed up by may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart. Or in Hebrew, you. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol ed v'chosha b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. יהיו לרצון. אמרתי והגיון ליבי לפניך, לפניך. אדוני סורי, סורי וגלי, Adonai Tsuri Egoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. O God, my rock and my redeemer.
Thank you, Nikki. With Rabbi gone, this is the time for a sermon, but he's off doing his thing. And so we're going to try and do our thing. We have chosen someone each Friday night from the congregation to give us a little Devar Torah, maybe give us a little inspiration or information. Tonight is Howie Watt, our head of adult education. So Howie, come on up and enlighten us. You're welcome, Howie.
Feel a little bit like I did before my first jury trial, which I realized later on, about 5 trials later, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Shabbat Shalom. My first thought when asked by Molly to give tonight's Devar Torah was, I am no Jeff Dennis. Why do I say that? What Rabbi Dennis does so well is to skillfully tie the Parsha for a particular week to a topic the congregation will find both relevant and entertaining, no easy task. Realizing I was going to have a difficult time integrating this week's Parsha into the focus of my Devar Torah, which is about 2 subjects, which are an integral part of my life, the practice of meditation and contemplative gratitude, and how they fit into my Jewish worldview. So instead, I decided to discuss as a standalone topic this week's Parsha. I wrote in my speech my reading the Parsha, and I was going to tell you what it said. I discovered opening our handout that there was a better summary of this week's Parsha, so I'm going to read that to you. This week's Parsha, known as Chukat, which is from Numbers chapters 19 through 22, begins by describing the ritual slaughter and sacrifice of the red cow by Eleazar, the priest, and the ritual cleansing for those who touch a corpse. Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, dies at Kadesh. Again, the people complain that they have no water to drink. God tells Moses to take his rod and to order a rock to bring forth water. Angry at the complaining people, Moses strikes the rock with his rod. Water pours out. The people drink and water their animals. God informs Moses that because of his anger, which I always felt was a very harsh punishment, that he will not be able, nor will Aaron, to lead his people into the land of Israel. Moses then asked the king of Edom for permission to pass through his land. The king refuses, and the Israelites take another route. When they reach Har, Adam dies and his priestly authority is passed on to his son Eleazar. The people mourn Aaron for 30 days. Then they are attacked by the Canaanites, whom they conquer with God's help. The people complain to Moses, "Why did you make us leave Egypt to die in the wilderness?" God sent snakes, interesting, among the people to bite them for their disloyalty. Moses begs forgiveness for them, and they admit their wrongdoing. God tells Moses to place a seraph figure, a snake made of copper, on his staff. When the people see it, they will be healed. This is a whole lot to digest. A lot of topics about a lot of different things. Incorporating the Torah portion into my subject matter, my Devar Torah, which is going to be about my daily practice of meditation and what I call contemplative gratitude. I could not find a way, as I said earlier, to incorporate that into what I'd like to say to y'all. In my early 20s, I found myself somewhat struggling through both law school and life. I started searching for answers. Early on in my search, I started the practice of yoga, which had the effect of calming my mind. The ups and downs of life became smoother, but I reached a plateau, realized that there was something else I needed. Coming from a very secular home, how secular, even though both my parents were Jewish, as were my four grandparents, I did not, believe it or not, attend the Seder until I was 16. Exploring Judaism was not even a consideration in my internal dialogue as to what I should do next. Within a year, I found a type of meditation called transcendental meditation, which helped me have a deeper calming of my mind and helped my journey towards greater happiness. Fast forward 10 years, now in my early 30s and recently divorced with no children and with the good fortune of having very little baggage, I sought to further my journey. This time I chose more time for my meditation, but as well, I decided to explore my Jewish roots with the thought that Judaism could help lead me to where I wanted to go, a life filled with both purpose and joy. My new plan worked and keeps working. I highly recommend a deep dive into Judaism and a deep dive into what I call inward explanation. And I can tell you both a deep dive into inner exploration and Judaism are not mutually exclusive topics. Let me explain. Jewish meditation, which is a subset of what Jewish scholars call contemplative Judaism, has taken a variety of forms and names, but more importantly, has been a part of Judaism for a long time. We read in the Torah that Abraham connected with God in the morning, Isaac in the afternoon, and Jacob in the evening. I believe morning, afternoon, and evening services are infused with prayers that I am convinced take a deep dive into your inner soul, into your soul, creating more meaningful prayers. In the first and second centuries of the Common Era, Jewish mystics sought to elevate their souls by meditating on the chariot visions of Ezekiel. This became a whole school of contemplative practice known as Merkava. Kabbalah, which most Jewish scholars tell us began around the 11th century, features all kinds of contemplative and meditative practices. Much later in our history, the movement that we now call Hasidism, which dates back to the beginning of the 18th century, takes up the mantle of contemplative meditation. The age of reason, or some people call enlightenment, I'm not so sure, caused not only Jews and Judaism, but also the rest of the Western world to turn away from such practices. It wasn't until 200 years later, in the mid 20th century, that the clock was turned back again to meditation, to contemplation, and to turning inward to help us answer the bigger questions in life. If I was going to recommend to you one Jewish authority who has made Jewish meditation more understandable to me, in the sense of not only his deep knowledge of the subject, but also his ability to translate that knowledge into easier to understand language, I would recommend somebody who some of you may know about, is the great Jewish scholar Aryeh Kaplan. My practice of meditation, I think in a logical way, is over the last couple of years of my life, led me to what I call contemplative Judaism. Contemplative gratitude. What do I mean by that? We have so much to be thankful for. Rabbi Ed Feinstein, who I don't know if anybody here knows, was the rabbi of Shereth Israel in Dallas, who married my wife and I. The subject of and the theme of marriage, our marriage ceremony, was Dayenu, which we got married on April the 8th of 1984, right before Passover. Dayenu, which is, as y'all know, means it would have been enough, which is such a positive way of looking at who we are and our many blessings. I would also recommend to you incorporating the Shehekianu into a daily practice of gratitude. Dayenu, the Shehekianu, as you know, is an acknowledgement of the prayer, which says, in a nutshell, thank you, God, for creating our lives, for sustaining us, and for reaching this special moment. For me, it is maybe because I'm 74 years old and closer to the end of my life's journey, that these special moments seem to come more often. And my reciting the Shehekianu comes on a more regular basis. Let me end by saying that what I do every day after I finish my morning meditation is to devote about 5 minutes to my practice of gratitude. It is not difficult, in my opinion, to come up with subject matter. There's always God, of course, our family, our friends, this congregation, the Jewish people, to everybody in the world, and to our ancestors who helped us to reach this special moment. Gratitude practiced out loud is not prohibited by either common sense or Judaism. And in that vein, although I could be thanking a number of people in this audience, to pick a couple, Bob and Becky Leonard, I'd like to, in that vein, thank Molly Marks, who has taken on 3 months worth of substitution for Rabbi Dennis. Thank you, Molly, for allowing me this opportunity, for all you have done the last month or so, and will continue the next couple of months, and in general, all you've done for Kol Ami. Thank you for allowing me, as I suggested, the opportunity to do this Devar Torah. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, announcements are next, and Becky's gonna give us our announcements for the
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the first day of our fiscal year, the first day of July, just lots of firsts for this week. Oh, and yes, the kickoff of having full oneg back versus the individually wrapped, that so glad to be hosting that this evening with my sister and my husband. So welcome back, everybody. Announcements. So High Holy Day singers, believe it or not, High Holy Days are coming up again, and CKA still needs voices for the High Holy Day choir. We're looking for new and returning members, and this year is going to be a mix of soloist and choir pieces, so there is flexibility with sing, rehearsals, and etc. No experience is needed, just a willingness to volunteer your voice and time. Please email Casey Flansbaum if you're interested in joining. The first Friday Shabbat dinner. Please note that the first Friday Shabbat dinner was obviously not this Friday because it's a holiday weekend. So it will actually be second Shabbat, which is Friday, July 8th. Since, this fell, you can make your reservations for that online on the website as always. Office closures in July. We have a couple of office closures coming up. First, we will be closed Monday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day, reopening on Tuesday, the 5th. And then in addition, the CK office will be closed the week of July 11th, Monday through Friday, the 15th. It will reopen for normal operation on the following Monday, July 18th. And just as a personal note, I thank y'all for letting us do that because that is vacation for my husband and I and the family. Tikkun Olam, the committee will be meeting at the Shoal at 6 p.m. on Friday, July 10th. Mark your calendars. This month's cause, Flower Mound Animal Service. I know this is a cause near and dear to many people's hearts. So it is a Sunday. Yes, Sunday, July 10th. So next Sunday. Start collecting your gently used towels now to help with this effort. As always, you can always find all the details for everything that's going at CKA on the website. This evening, we want to wish those who might be in need of some special prayers. Before I start our Misha Berach list, does anybody have a name they need to add to their list this evening? Sharon. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Melissa Toon. We wish those and Joanne Barnes, Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Sandy Cook, Mark Davis, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Kalig, Deb Kaufman, Toby Kennedy, Clayton Kirkwood, Lauren Kirkwood, Alex Koenig, Gianna LaMonica, Deb Ledden, Matt Levin, Phyllis Lorelei, Paul Redwood Jr., Sandy Garber Rubin, Bruce Sari, Adrian Sandler, Myra Schuschler, Dave Seaver, Alyssa Stradling, Happy Waterman, and Laura Lee Weeks. Please join me with the Misha Berach, which can be on page 40 and also on the back of your bulletin. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Okay. We'll turn to page 82 for the Elenu. Please stand in spirit and or body.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'aseh v'dula yirotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu l'ulei karatzo, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samrelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu Bechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'mavim, l'ifnei melech, malkei hamalkim, hakadosh baruch Hu. Shem shamayim v'yoser haaretz, Moshe Karol Hashemayim Mima'al, Ushinatu so, V'gofer Meroni, U'Eloheinu Eino, V'emet Malkeinu Efesulato, Sakatu B'Torato, Yedata Hayom V'Hashivota Elavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Ha'Elohim, Hashamayim Mima'al, V'Haaretz Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'Shema echad. Our lives, O God, are in your hands. In you we trust. Whatever may be our destiny, we know that you will be there. Though we may never fathom the mysteries of life and death, we know of your gift of life, which each of us has treasured. No matter what the final end, let us rejoice in the sweetness of the past and our faith in the life to come. There we will find you, your love, your blessing. This week we have no Shiva on our list. Is there anyone in the congregation observing Shiva, having lost someone in the last 7 days? For Shloshim, we, having lost someone in the last 30 days, we continue the loss, to mourn the loss of Maria Natalie Bernard. Are there any others observing Shloshim, having lost someone in the last 30 days? And then for yard size this week, for those who lost a loved one at this time in years past, Helmut Doring, Richard Elfont, Evelyn Klein-Enneman, Ruth Gutler, Tova Lewin, Sarah Mead, Edward Melnick, Louise Mintz, Charles Belton Neff, Rebecca Mansky-Shane, Dan Shiro, and Jeffrey Watt. Are there any others observing a yard site? If you'll join me on page 85, and if you'll please rise for the Kaddish, mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma devra kirotei v'yamlik malkutei, v'chayachon uv'yomachon, uv'kayed kol beit Yisrael, v'gala uv'zman kari v'yimaru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorak le'olam omei almaya.
Yit Barak, Viet Shabak, Viet Paar, Viet Raman, Viet Nase, Viet Hadar, Viet Hale, Viet Halal, Shemay Kudashah, Barihu, Leila Min Kol, Birkata, Vashirata, Tushbechata, Venechamata, Damin Ran, Be'ama, Vimaru, Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'achol Yisrael, Vimaru, Amen. O say Shalom Bimramav, Uya say Shalom, Aleinu Ve'achol Yisrael, Vimaru, Amen. May the one who causes peace on high cause peace to descend upon us and upon all Israel. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Okay, do we have a closing song
Me too.
tonight?
Please be seated. Our closing song is on page 100, Hine Matov. Now, you know many versions of the Hine Matov, so we're going to do the one that's in 3 parts. Hine Matov, Hine Matov, and then yada da da da. Okay, so that one. All right.
What were the movements on that? 3?
Yeah. You'll remember. Okay, yeah, you just follow the bouncing body. Okay. We're gonna start there. 1, 2, 3. Hine matovu manayim shebetachim gam yahad. Hine matovu manayim shebetachim gam yahad. Hine matovu menato. Ya da 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 da. He may not tovu may not to. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. One more time. Hine matovu manayim shebetachim gam yahad. Hine matovu manayim shebetachim gam yahad. Hine natovu menato. Ya da 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 da. He may not tov, he may not tov. Ya da 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 da. Bouncy part. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da da da.
Excellent. Please join us in Donaghy Hall for our first Kiddush of the new year, the new fiscal year. Very good. Shabbat Shalom. Yes.
Thank you all.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Although that actually is said by Paul. He's not a guy necessarily.
Exactly. That's probably what I said.
But he is saying.
Or, here's what I said.
Yeah.
I got my fair.